What is up, Geeks and Geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady, and with me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him as JC.
Hey, everybody.
The man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Hey, what's up, everyone? And JC, I
What?
watched the Animaniacs.
Damn how great
Wacko
it
is my favorite,
Fuck yes, he is.
and I freaking loved it. I think it did the OG show justice. I loved everything about it. I loved the show tunes, and I also liked the little music that they put in there. That one little song where they're making fun of Hollywood and how they rehash everything. I love it.
Yeah, there's plenty to discuss. Let's let Ted finish the introduction.
Mike's like, let somebody introduce
me.
me.
I know.
I was excited. I love
Countdown
Animaniacs.
City WrestleCast, the one and only Mike.
I'm Mike, and this is 2020.
Almost
and we're
there.
In the final countdown.
Final countdown.
We're in the end game now.
If Steady and Mike look like they're in a better mood than us, it's because they're off this week, you lucky bastards. So they don't have to work this week, lucky guys. So yeah.
Oh
yeah.
gosh. Well, listen, we have like the largest episode that I think we've had in a very long time. So we're gonna have to like sprint through this stuff because I know all you guys want to talk about the major revelations and the reveals that we got in the Mandalorian. Today we're gonna be talking about some sequels that are coming that nobody expected. We also got a release date and some surprising details regarding Wonder Woman. We got some rapid fire headlines for you. And of course, we're going to be talking about Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian because everything is hitting the fan and we can't wait to get into it. But first, we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite Merc with a Mouth movie sequel announcement. That's right, Deadpool 3 is finally in full effect. We always knew that it was going to happen, but now the train is on the track and it is going full speed ahead.
Under the MCU umbrella, I hear.
Yes.
Under MCU as well as Disney.
And a rated R rating is that at that.
It has to be. It
will. Sources are saying it will be a sequel that will be rated R. But what do we know? We know, of course, Ryan Reynolds is completely on board. Mm-hmm. We know that Ryan, as well as Marvel Studios, met with, I'm going to assume, at least a dozen or so writers that pitched a new movie. I'm sure there was a handful of people that had some serious and great story details to put into a Deadpool 3 movie. But they landed with the Bob's Burgers writers, Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Loughlin.
You sounded so salty. Right. You sounded like JC last week with Alexa Bliss trying to congratulate her. I'm happy for her.
You know what? Listen, it's saying a lot that they landed with the writers from Bob's Burgers. I think that says a lot. And I think there's a lot of confidence to put into the sequel that you're going with some very smart, witty writers. The guest of the show is Mike. Mike, are you excited? Does this give you hope for a great sequel? What do you think about the news that we got?
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for Deadpool. I mean, those movies, the love that Ryan Reynolds has for the character and what he's done to first get the first movie started. And the things he's put into it, so that even though they're with Disney now and it's a bigger umbrella they're under, he's gonna put his say and make sure that it's a movie that he knows will do Deadpool justice. And I read something online that I thought was kind of interesting. Is everyone's talking about it, and they talk about all the funny moments of the movies and just what Deadpool is, but both of the movies had some really serious storylines of what was going on that he just puts all that humor over and stuff on top of. But the first one he was, experimented on because he had cancer and, going back to avenge that. And then the second one going after the kid and the time traveling because of what Cable. He was supposed to do. Yeah. Cable coming back. Mm-hmm. So there's some pretty solid stories underneath all the humor and the fun.
I like it. JC, what do you say, sir?
If it's Deadpool, it's Ryan Reynolds. That's all I need to know. It's just let it be rated R. Please, dear God, let Ryan Reynolds appear in every MCU movie, drop the F-bomb to give it the PG-13 rating and leave. And that's it. That's all you need to do. I know we're not going to have Stan Lee cameos anymore, but just give us a Deadpool cameo to take the place and give us the PG-13 rating. I've been wanting that ever since this merger happened. I think that could be fun. But yeah, the Merc with the Mouth, even under the Disney umbrella, is going to be great. And I cannot wait to one day visit Disney World and have the Deadpool exhibit be there in all its glory. It must be 17 years or older.
Adults only.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan, I hope you're listening. There needs to be some weird way that you share lineage. Well, Wade shares lineage with some sort of royalty in that universe. That way we can officially call Deadpool a Disney princess.
You know what it's going to be? You know what it's going to be? The promos are going to be, the statue in Disney World where it's Walt and Mickey hand in hand. Deadpool's going to be on the other side of Walt holding his other hand. That's basically what it's going to be. You're going to have Mickey, Walt, and Deadpool right there on the statue. It's
Wouldn't
going to find a way to
be badass if right when you're walking into the Magic Kingdom in Main Street, when you're going in there, they have a statue erected of Deadpool.
Oh, please. That'd be awesome.
I think at least at one fireworks show, instead of Tinkerbell, it needs to be Deadpool.
Just coming out ass first, sliding out ass first.
Oh, my God.
That would be amazing.
Joe, you're always pitching the theories of the X-Men coming into the MCU universe. Do you think Deadpool 3 is going to be one of those stepping stones where we start to see those Fox Marvel characters stepping over?
I hope so. I'm wearing my X-Men shirt in say homage to Deadpool today.
I see you.
OG X-Men shirt at that. So I'm hoping that it actually does happen at some point in time. I would also like to see, the mutants come into the MCU and, with the WandaVision thing going on, you have the hope that it'll be the introduction or the catalyst that'll start introducing characters. And yes, we need to see Deadpool officially make his appearance in the MCU. And he needs to be making that cameo, like JC said, in every single damn movie, just to drop the F-bomb to get it the PG-13 rating and just leave.
What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And show up at the weirdest times, like a really serious scene. You just see him walk into the background, drop an F-bomb and leave or something, Can
you imagine? I Love You 3000. What the F was that?
Or he shows up right after the snap. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Just the weirdest moments. I mean, that's Deadpool's humor. He makes light of everything. Even like, they were saying in Deadpool 2, the moment when he was dying and he's like, do you want to build a snowman? And he acts like he dies and he's like, no, I'm still here.
Yeah.
That's the humor that everybody loves. I can't get enough.
Even great on top of that, how cool is it that we're actually going to hear the word mutant in the MCU now? Yes. They're actually going to start using that, that's when politics and money gets involved in movie making, and that's out of the way because Disney bought everything, it seems like. So, we're finally get something like that. So.
The thing that I really like about the introduction of mutants into the MCU is that it just broadens the world so much more, for them and their storylines. Because now they just don't have to stay stuck with going in this particular transit that they're on, this path that they're on. Now everything can go, and you can introduce all these other storylines and show just how vast this Marvel universe really is with the introduction of the mutants. And it injects something that's fresh and new to some of these, let's say, audience members that are going and just finding out about Wolverine or some of the X-Men for the first time, or even Gambit. I mean, that's going to be really interesting to see how receptive everybody's going to be to the mutants. I think they're gonna love it to death because it's new. They've always been giving these superheroes, and now they're going to start getting this other type of hero, the anti-hero, the guy who doesn't want to be a hero, grittiness, a darker storyline. I think it's going to be really an injection of that, something new that everybody needs right now,
There you go. Completely agree. I just can't wait to see what a guy like Kevin Feige is gonna be able to do with a character like Deadpool. Finally get his hands on him completely and put out a good product for us.
Yeah, and can we finally see the Brood make an appearance? I want to see the Brood, man. I want to see him on the silver screen. We've never seen that happen. I want to see it happen. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. I want to see it happen.
Not
once.
the Gangrel Legend Christian Brood, right? Just
no, man,
okay.
No.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, man, Gangrel had one of the best entrances, though.
Yeah.
I liked his music, dude. It was dope.
There you go.
Mike, you're gonna say something though? Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, you just said that with Feige about what he can do. It actually makes me wonder if at some point he's going to make a cameo with Deadpool, so Deadpool can do something to him, or because he's gotten so much praise for what he's helped build with the MCU. That seems like the perfect thing for Deadpool to take a shot at, to make fun of. And it'd be, I don't know, I think it'd be really cool too if Feige made the cameo with him, to get killed or something like that, just as part of Deadpool's, the whole thing.
There you go. Lots more news, lots more updates to come. We're just starting out. It's the tip of the iceberg right now with the Deadpool sequel. That's not the only sequel I'm bringing to today's table, but I also want to get your thoughts on the announcement of a new sequel in the Predator franchise. Ken Cloverfield Lane director, I love the Cloverfield franchise, by the way, Dan Trachtenberg is going to be directing a new Predator movie. That makes the 5th solo Predator film, if you're counting. And no estimated time for this movie to get released. But here we are discussing whether or not we actually want to see one. Joe, let's start with you, sir. Yay or nay? Do you want to see a new sequel in the Predator franchise?
I do, but it has to be something different. It can't just be a rehash, a reboot. Give me something new. Have we ever seen the Predators going at each other in this civil war that they have? Because now we know that there's different species. There's just not a predator. There's other species of predator that are in this bitter civil war with one another. I want to see that shit. I want to know, why are they mad at each other? Why are they battling with each other? What's going on with them? To me, that's interesting. Let's go to the Predator homeworld. Let them talk in their language, whatever it might be. I'm fine reading subtitles. I just want a dark, gritty Predator to Predator, duking it out, beating the shit out of each other, chopping each other up and tearing each other up in half. I want to know what's going on. Why are they fighting with one another? And not only that, but more importantly, why did they go out for sport and go out here and hunt other species? I want to know what that's all about. Is it for honor? I mean, what are they really trying to do? Is it, you're trying to bring the biggest trophy back for your clan so you can have a position of power? What's going on with this stuff? I want to know. There's a lot of questions. And if they come to Earth again, I'm just going to say, oh, man, come on. And if they put Arnold in it again, I'm just like, dude, I'm done with him already. How can he even move? He's old already.
You one ugly mother.
Yeah, you one ugly mother.
Do it, come on, do it.
Get to the chopper. I don't want to hear that shit no more. They had their opportunities to make a decent sequel, and that shit flew out the window with Predator 2. I said it. It wasn't a good movie. If you like it, there's something wrong with you. I thought it was horrible. Horrible. The only thing that was good about that movie is that it fucking ended, and we got to see a little teaser of the freaking alien. That was it.
Ooh, very nice.
All right, never to talk Predator again with Joe. That's what we learned.
He's
today.
not holding anything back.
No.
Jason,
And
how
then
about
the
you,
dog,
sir?
come on, and the dog in the latest one. Oh, man.
It's let me just quote a song I just learned this weekend. Reboot it, renew it, reshoot
Yes.
it, redo it, and reuse it, retool it, abuse it, just do it. If you want to make some easy cash, just recycle and rehash, repeat it, reinstate it, reheat it, recreate it. There's no need to feel frustrated, simply just regurgitate it. For a guaranteed rating smash, dip it up out the trash. Come on, just reboot it. Probably one of the best songs of the Animaniacs when they started, but that's kind of what these Predator movies feel like at this point. I mean, I don't know if you're at a point right now what the timeline is. I haven't really watched since the second Predator. I don't know what's going on. I know they did Alien versus Predator, and everyone was all up for that. I never got to see it, to be honest with you. The first one's still the best one, So I don't know where they're going with this. If for the fans out there, if they want to see it, great. Let's just hope it does it justice. Maybe this will get people interested in the series again. You got to make something good. I think
I
this series
did like
needs that.
Olivia Munn in this latest one, but that was about it.
Well, that's Olivia Munn. Who doesn't like Olivia Munn? Let's be
Exactly.
honest here. So yeah. So yeah.
There you go. Mike, how about you, sir? What say you?
Well, I was going to ask because the last time I was on the show a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the Halloween franchise, and you were explaining to me different timelines, right? So,
Oh my.
are all these Predator movies? Because there was Predators with Adrian Brody a couple years ago, or probably
Right.
about 8 or 9 years ago now, and that was actually a decent movie. Like I enjoyed it. It was something different. But then this last one that they just brought out again rehashed a bunch of stuff. Was nothing original. Yeah, Olivia Munn was cool. We like that. But other than that, similar to what Joe said, what are we getting? Are we getting something different where they really try to refresh and re-energize the franchise and the idea of it? Or are we just getting they're coming back to Earth? Because that last movie, wasn't there something at the end about like a super predator suit and they were going to go back?
It was an exosuit.
Or an
to help
exosuit or
fight
something?
the Predators, yeah.
Right. So
That was Robert Rodriguez too that did that one, right?
the
Was it?
Predators.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Robert did the one with Agent Brody,
Yeah.
Predators.
Okay.
and then the one that just came out last was
It was that guy who's got like
the,
a bunch of.
the
The
Predator,
The Predator.
Okay. Yeah.
Predator 2, Predators, and the Predator, and now here we are, number 5.
Yeah.
And
Let's see what they give us.
Yeah, let's see. Usually, I'm the guy that's like, let's see what you got. Go ahead. I'm excited for it. I'm not so much so. I don't think that they're gonna come out with a story that's going to be sufficient for the general audience. For a guy like me, I'm excited if you start jumping to the mythos and all that, but I don't think there's ever going to be a Predator movie that really comes out and wows the general audience. You really need to focus on the horror crowd. That's the crowd you want to tap into. Just the sci-fi group, they're not too much into this stuff that much, in my opinion. So you're going to lose them a whole lot. So for me, I'm not as excited for a 5th installment. If they piggyback off the last one, it could be a story that they can salvage if, like Joe had mentioned, we get into this civil war that they're having. We found out that these super predators were like slaves to them, and they just decided to like start going wild and start killing their masters
Viva
and
la
all that.
revolution.
I am Spartacus.
There you go.
There you go.
So as for me, I'm not as excited. We'll see what happens. I do like Dan Trachtenberg. 10 Cloverfield Lane was a very unique film. Yeah, I was entertained by it. It's sort of one of those cabin in the wood type feel movies where it's not like reality, but it's sort of grounded in its lore and all that. So it'll be interesting to see what Dan puts forward, but as far as the sequel is concerned, I'm not all in.
What if we get Predators in an underground bunker with John Goodman? No, I'm just kidding.
As long as John Goodman's in it, I'm fine. Hey,
7
listen,
Predators pick to live in
really
the house.
if you
Work together, have their lives taped.
Predators stop being nice and start being
getting real.
if you really want to raise some eyebrows, they were this close to bringing Schwarzenegger into the last film.
No.
Do something that involves very little. I'm talking about a cameo or something with Arnold, and then I don't remember if they killed off Glover in the Predator universe or not. But if Danny Glover's still out there somewhere, just make it sort of.
He's getting too old for this shit, man. I mean,
that was 20 years ago.
Really
30 years ago.
I'm
They're
like,
gonna
he's
wheel him
still
out?
doing movies. I'm pretty
What
sure
are
he's
they
still
gonna
doing
do now?
movies.
They're gonna wheel out him and Arnold now. I mean, come on.
Get
ridiculous.
Jesse Ventura in there, man. That's what you need.
Oh,
Nice.
You need the governor, the
Nice.
other governor.
Yeah.
Jesse the Body Ventura. I haven't heard that name in a long time, dude.
There you go. We'll see what happens. This next story is probably more for me than you guys because I don't know how much you guys are actually into this game. But Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a PC game that has a cult fan backing and support behind it. It's been out for, it seems like, a decade now. Really easy format. It's you're stationary security guard. You're being haunted by these animatronic plush, full size animals that are trying to kill you
So
while
it's like the
you're
animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese gone
Yes.
bad.
bam, gone bad.
Those things
That
were
was the
creepy enough, man.
Hell
Jesus
yeah.
Christ. Yeah.
and now there's a whole franchise based on it. So that was the first game. Now we're somewhere like 7 or 8 games later,
Yeah.
especially in the augmented reality game that they just released last year. And now there's been a confirmation of something the FNAF fans have been waiting for a very long time. The creator, Scott Cawthon, who has a very tight sort of communication line with his fans. He reaches out to them directly. There's never anything really in the press. He just sends them these messages. He also likes to play with fans sending like coded messages on sites and hidden Easter eggs all the time. It's a great story and a great universe that Scott has created. Lo and behold, he announced it just the other day. The movie that he's been working on for it seems like 5 or 6 years is finally getting made. They've agreed on a script. He's calling it Mike. So give us the deets later on, Mike, about what that's about. But Scott Cawthon has announced that the FNAF franchise is coming out with its first movie. Filming begins in the spring. I don't expect it to be a big production. Let's give it 4 to 6 months worth of production and another 3 or 4 months worth of post. So probably looking at an early 2022 release. I'd say first quarter or so seems like a good time to release it, because again, there's probably not a lot of money behind this. It's a small cult franchise, but all the fans are excited. I won't ask every single one of y'all. Just if anybody knows what the hell I'm talking about, let me know your thoughts that we're finally getting a FNAF movie.
I know
I
what
don't
you're
know what's going
talking
on.
about, dude. My son, he was really into Five Nights at Freddy's, and he was always watching the videos on YouTube. You know, everybody likes to go on and watch the guys' commentary. You know, the fans'
Oh
commentary
yeah,
about the games. He used to do that all the time, along with Minecraft and whatnot. But he was always big into Five Nights at Freddy's. So I know exactly what you're saying. I never played the game, but my son did. So that's how I know a little bit about it.
Yeah. This is one of those things that if I wasn't a high school teacher, I would probably not know anything about. But it's one of those things over the years. I've had kids that would always talk about it and always, and so and I get into conversations with them about it, find out about it. I've never played it. Like I've seen a few videos on it back, when they were the students were really getting into it.
Mhm.
I think it could be. I mean, if done well, I think it could be something that just like maybe surprises you, and not big blockbuster or anything, but just like a
no,
fun, kind of thriller movie where these animatronic things. I'm sure there's going to be a line of comedy to the horror of it, but it could be interesting. Like give it a shot and watch it probably.
yeah, and the very vague sort of description that I gave, that's just one game out of, like I mentioned, 7 or 8. This movie could be about that, or it could be about some spin-off storyline that they're going to tie into it.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing to me is that the creator, Scott, he actually built, as I mentioned, this very deep, very long origin story and built this entire universe and lore around it. There's novels that he's written about this video game franchise. And it's a video game franchise. It's not, that big. We're not talking like Call of Duty or Halo size here. So it's an indie game turned into novelizations, now turned into a film. And so the most interesting thing to me is what is the creative aspect that they're going to take to make this film. I'm already intrigued by the original story, but I'm more interested in how are they going to put that on a screen. You can't do it one for one. We're not talking like trying to put Doom in a movie or Mortal Kombat, something like that. It has to be more creative. You're really going to have to put your everything into coming out with something interesting that people want to watch. And this is one of those creators. Consider him the Ryan Reynolds of the Deadpool movie franchise. He plays everything very close to the chest. He has a hand and a decision in everything that's being done. So you just give a lot of credit to the guy for being so involved in every aspect of the franchise. I can't wait to see what happens. We're probably about a year and a half away from actually seeing a movie come to fruition, or they might surprise us and just knock this out pretty quick. Scream 5. They actually filmed Scream 5 in less than 2 months. It was pretty spectacular that they were able to do it that quickly, but either there's not a lot of story there, or there just wasn't that many sets and that many people involved or something.
I
But
want to see
that's
a cameo by
got to be a
Doofy.
record.
No, it's got to
Goofy.
happen. It's got to happen. You know,
There you
Arquette's
go.
got to make a appearance. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just a real quick announcement in case you live under a rock and you haven't heard. Wonder
Why are you talking about
Woman
me?
1984 is getting released on Christmas Day. So Merry
Finally.
Christmas to all you geeks and geekettes out there. You can catch it in any one of your very safe, hopefully, theaters if you're willing to. If not, you won't have to travel that far. You can watch it in your own home. It will simultaneously be released on HBO Max for no additional charge, which is huge
Disney, take notes.
and insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
JC, let's start with you. Any thoughts around this announcement of Wonder Woman being released on HBO Max?
Obviously, very excited for this. This movie is a long time coming. I was afraid we're going to get another postponement announcement, so this is definitely good news. I think a lot of movies are going this way. I honestly was expecting it to be a like a video on demand release, a la Trolls World Tour, which made a lot of money just throwing it at home and on demand for pay-per-view kind of thing. But I'll happily take HBO Max release. That's fine with me. My only concern, and I know Ryan from LMC Movie Talk has this concern, the movie theater experience, how our movie theaters can be affected, as a lot of this pandemic is changing how we're viewing movies. And I'm wondering if this may be the route studios go in the future, a simultaneous streaming and movie theater release, and how that's going to affect everything. So that's one of those things where everyone's just going to have to adapt. But as far as Wonder Woman, finally, Merry Christmas to us. We needed some good news this year, and I know my wife is happy. I know my daughter's very happy. Gonna wake up Christmas morning, open presents, and watch Wonder Woman. I think we're very excited for that.
There you go, Mike. What say you, sir?
No, it's cool, and I definitely think they learned, like you said, from Disney and Mulan, that it just, trying to make people pay on top of the streaming service they already own, just not going to work out as well. And Wonder Woman was, of the kind of original DCU movies, the one I really enjoyed the most, because it was her character. Like, not to get too deep into that, but it's like she was what I thought Superman should have been, just the positive, the good, the not that kind of stuff. And so I was looking forward to this too. It's an interesting story. Like, I know y'all talked about it a lot over the time because it keeps getting delayed. That being in 1984, and how does what's his name come back, Steve Trevor? But I'm just glad it's finally getting released, so we get a chance to see it and kind of finally see what it's all about. So.
Chris Pine, man, is it wrong that I'm most excited to see Chris Pine in the sequel?
So is my wife, actually. My wife is very excited to see Chris Pine in this movie. So,
he's just so damn funny.
No, I'm cool with seeing Gal Gadot, so that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, what about you, sir? Your thoughts on this announcement?
Oh, I like it, because my daughter has Crohn's, so she has an autoimmune deficiency disorder, so it's hard for us to
Crohn's warrior.
It's hard for us to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because she's susceptible to getting infection, because her immune system is lowered. So by them doing this, it gives me the opportunity to be able to watch this and enjoy Wonder Woman 1984 with the family in a safe environment from the comfort of our home. So I dig it.
Without bootlegging it either. So
without bootlegging it. And I'm already, since I already have AT&T internet plus AT&T as my cell carrier, I already have HBO Max for free. So I'm going to take full advantage of this. I don't have to go and drop, averaging. What are you going to spend when you go to a theater? Probably like at least $80, $100,
yeah, man.
Snacks,
comes down
tickets,
to it,
and everything. Yeah. At the end of the day. So this saves me a lot of money. We could buy our own snacks, watch the movie, and it's like JC said, you open the gifts, you probably get some leftover ham or something, to eat. You sit down, make a ham sandwich, you watch the movie with your little snacks and stuff with your family, and you just get to relax and enjoy it. And I like the fact that they're bringing it. They're let's say gonna go ahead and premiere it on December the 25th, Christmas Day. This movie has been delayed, and it just seemed like people were kind of losing interest in this. We kind of anticipated that they were going to go ahead and release the movie in 2021 sometime, which again, they've been teasing this movie for so long, the people's patience is kind of waning. And by HBO Max, which is Time Warner basically, or Warner Brothers, should I say, going ahead and really stepping up and premiering this, on HBO Max. That's amazing to me. It's something that you don't have to pay extra for, much like Mulan. And we saw how that turned out. I don't think it was a win for Disney. I think they kind of found out that the fans are already paying, even though it's like $6.99 a month. They just want to see that stuff for free. They don't necessarily want to pay an extra $30. I think that was a little too steep. I understand the logic and why they did it.
Sure.
But this makes more sense, and especially trying things out with the movie like Wonder Woman 1984. Let's see what happens. Is this going to be a huge hit for HBO Max? Because are the number of subscribers going to go up? What kind of reception are the fans going to give them? For doing this, I believe that it's going to be a very positive reception, and it's going to go ahead and pave the way for them to do things like this more often. That's the thing. That's the game changer. But at the sad point of that, the flip side of that, I miss going to the theater. I miss the theater experience.
Yeah,
but that is going to have to change. And I think one of the ways that the theater experience can change is by getting more interactive with the fans. You can't just go over there to the theater and just watch a movie and just be there for the atmosphere because, you have a reclining seat, and you're watching it on a big screen with the nice sound. That's not enough anymore, especially with everything that everybody's gone through. It needs to be more interactive. I don't know what they're going to have to do to get the people back in there, but it's not just you can go and hire people dressed as superheroes and have it themed to take pictures for free. You can do that anywhere now.
I wouldn't mind getting a pedicure while I'm watching a movie. I'm down with that. That's fine, So have somebody rub my feet while I'm watching a movie. So, I'm just throwing that out there.
Do your feet smell like Cheetos like my son?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be eating food while your feet are down.
Let me air out the funky nail.
Come on, Draft House, make it happen. No, just kidding.
Oh man, I too am excited. I can't believe they're gonna do it, but I'm all here. I'm here all for it, and I can't wait. It's gonna be an exciting film. I love the first one. Absolutely, it's
Here's an idea, Ted.
One of the top 3 DC films.
What if you go to the theater to watch Wonder Woman 1984, and you can kind of sit down with your family and something that looks like the cockpit of the Invisible Jet or something like that. That would be badass, dude. I would love that.
I mean, if it's the Invisible Jet, they could just say that, right? They're like,
but you're in the cockpit.
You're in the Invisible Jet.
So,
Or you're going to go watch the Back to the Future and you're sitting in the cockpit of the DeLorean.
DeLorean.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some good stuff, man. I'm all here for that, too.
Interactive. You can go ahead and hit the buttons and go back to 1984 or 1985, whatever you want to do,
Yeah, man, that'd be dope. One of these days, Joe, one of these days. Real quick, from the Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, she, in a post, stated, "It's time. We've all waited a long time for this one to come. I can't tell you how excited I am for all of you to see this movie. It wasn't an easy decision, and we never thought we'd have to hold on to the release for such a long time, but COVID rocked all of our worlds. We feel the movie has never been so relevant, and we hope that it'll bring some joy, hope, and love to your hearts. Wonder Woman 1984 is a special one for me, and I can only hope it'll be as special to you too. We've put our hearts and souls into it. So you can watch it in theaters. They're doing an amazing job keeping it safe." She put quote, not air quotes, just quotes. And you can watch it also on HBO Max in your homes. Sending you my love. Please keep safe and wear a mask. Happy holidays to all of us. Let the light shine in. Great words from Gal Gadot.
Did you see her follow-up video that she posted with that?
No.
She started singing "Imagine There's No COVID."
Oh my God.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
Fantastic.
there was a blast from the beginning of quarantine way back when.
Yeah, right.
You know
That's
what?
gonna
I'm
be,
interested
in the
to see what you're
Animaniacs
going
next
to talk
episode.
about, Ted, in this rapid fire segment. I'm
Season
looking
2,
right here,
Ted. Season 2.
and I'm looking already
Rapid
at
fire.
Texas Ranger, dude. I'm just like, wow.
Rapid fire, rapid fire, rapid fire.
We got to get you in like a cowboy outfit. You're going to talk about Texas Ranger, Ted.
Who says my wife doesn't already have one for me?
Hey, no bedroom talk on this
Whoa.
show, brother.
Assless chaps. Assless chaps.
This is a family show.
Not right now, it isn't.
It's not.
All right. Okay.
All right, check it out. So, rapid fire. This is our rapid fire segment where we just kind of shoot out some of the headlines of the week. First of which is Walker, Texas Ranger. We mentioned months ago that a reboot was in the works, and we didn't think it'd be coming this close. But Jared Padalecki, believe is his name, is going to be taking the lead in the new Walks' Texas Ranger reboot, which will be on the CW network. And we have a release date. The release date is going to be January 21st, 2021. No trailer as of yet, but there was a very, very short teaser. You can find that on our Facebook page at Countdown to the Geekcast, and they're just calling it Walker. So who knows how they're going to play this. I don't think you can ever compare it to the original. The original also got weird at times, some supernatural elements, or some like.
Was that a pun intended?
See what you did there.
Yes. And also just some weird stuff they try to do in that show. So can't wait to see what happens.
Is Chuck
and
Norris going to reprise
see what
his
happens.
role? Is he going to come back?
Will he make a cameo?
Is he Padalecki's dad?
Ooh,
Or
grandfather? Is he the boss? Is he the boss?
I mean,
man?
Padalecki's a Texan, so it could happen, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Anything can happen.
Chuck Norris doesn't wear a mask to protect himself from COVID. COVID wears a mask to protect himself from Chuck Norris.
Right.
I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Goddamn right.
Zing!
Padalecki just hopes in like 30 years they're making those references to him.
Oh,
you know,
God.
Dude,
or it'll be the opposite, right? Because he won't.
Dude fought demons, got possessed by the devil. Now he's a Texas Ranger. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris would have never gotten possessed by the devil. He would have possessed the devil.
Right? Supernatural with Chuck Norris would have been 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Would have cleaned it all and been done with it.
Yeah.
Been over like that.
One roundhouse kick to Lucifer. We're done. So
he's out.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Director Jason Reitman also posted on his Instagram page that Ghostbusters 3 has officially wrapped post-production. So the movie is now done, and we can't wait to see it next July in 2021. Another wrapped production, Shang-Chi, wraps filming. So the Marvel movie is now going into post-production. Can't wait to see how that turns out. And gentlemen, we need to celebrate because Toy Story is just celebrating its 25th anniversary. How about that?
What? The fact that we're getting old? Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
so I'm going to
man.
pose a question to you, gentlemen. It's been 25 years of Toy Story. Which is your favorite? Is it the original? Is it the last one? Is it something in between? I know I just dropped this on you right now, but I feel
like Toy Story 2, man. That one's my favorite, dude. I just
Joe,
love
you
the
go
comedy.
first.
No, I'm just saying I love the comedy in Toy Story 2, especially when that fat guy, the toy collector, goes, "I gotta drive all the way to work," and he just goes across the street. Was it Al's Toy Barn?
Newman,
yes.
right? Isn't that Newman?
Yeah, it was Newman.
Yeah, it was freaking hilarious. And then they had Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head always arguing and stuff. That was hilarious.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and then you had the dinosaur always playing that video game, you know. So
oh yeah.
I liked Toy Story 2 to me was probably the one that really stuck out. I mean, then you had that really great introduction to the whole film where you have Buzz Lightyear flying around, you know,
that was
on that
pretty
other
dope.
planet. That was pretty dope, dude. So
but then he died.
Yeah, but I like Toy Story 2. I gotta say it's.
Then he died, and all the kids like, "What happened?
What happened?
What happened? It's a game, damn it."
Mike, what say you, sir?
I mean, I think I'm kind of partial to the original just because it started it all. But I do have to say, I mean, I've enjoyed them all. And in Toy Story 3, the ending when they're in the incinerator, I'm a grown man sitting because my wife wanted to go see us. We went to go see it in theaters, and I'm like, I know they're not going to kill them, but how are they going to get them? Like, I was sitting there like,
worried.
okay, like I know they're not right. Like, this is Disney. You can't. I was sitting there like, yes. That was honestly a great movie moment, and I was just like, oh, that was perfect. Love it.
He said it all, man. JC, what about you, man?
God, I was 14 when the first movie came out. I'm just thinking back on that. That's crazy. By the way, Mike, shout out to you. You and your wife, 12 years married. Congratulations on your anniversary. Yeah. So
yeah, congrats.
That was a fun celebration. I was the best man at his wedding. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
But yeah. 2 was probably a lot of good humor. The blooper reel on that was hilarious. I think that's when they stared doing those little extra scenes.
Oh God!
Yeah. So
why is the only one I can remember is the old guy, the
prospector
hitting on the 2 Barbie dolls.
Hitting on the 2 Barbie dolls. Farting in his own box too. Yeah. I mean, hey, shoot your shot, bro. I mean, they're illegal. But Mike said it, Toy Story 3, that one really just pulled at the heartstrings, and not so much for the incinerator, but Andy's going to college and giving up his toys to a little girl, passing on the torch. It makes me think, God, how many G.I. Joes over the year? I wonder what they're doing now. I gave or my mom forced me to give those to Goodwill, so what happened to all those things? And you wonder like how if they went on to make some other kid happy too. So, I mean, 3 was 4 was great too, but if anything for Key and Peele, or freaking hilarious in that one, but 3 really pulled at the heartstrings. I think that was my favorite. So yeah,
I'm gonna follow suit. 3 because of that incinerator scene.
Yeah,
just an all-time great moment in movie history. I was just like Mike, worrying like hell. Like, should I cover my son's eyes? What do I do right now?
See, and the funny part is, like, when Disney and Pixar were in that dispute, Disney was actually going to write the original script for 3, and it involved a recall on Buzz Lightyear. And that was the original story. And then thankfully they worked out the story with Pixar, and Pixar said, no, here's what we're going to do for 3. And that, so the original idea was that there was going to be a toy recall, and they were going to have to recall Buzz. So thankfully they changed that, because we got a really good movie in 3. So,
or he goes crazy and kills Andy.
A funny side thing on that, when the Disney parks first started including Toy Story characters in their parks, you used to be able to say, like, people are coming or Andy's coming, and they would hit the floor, like the characters would drop like they were toys, but they started getting injured. So luckily, after he went to college, that's their thing now, because people will still try to yell at them like, oh, Andy's coming, and they're like, Andy's at college, he's like, because character people, in character would start dropping to be in character with it, but they were hurting themselves, and so they finally had to make them stop doing that. So I always thought that was hilarious.
It's awesome.
That they were dedicated to it, but they were like, we got to stop this.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
They're gonna start unionizing. So, yeah.
Gentlemen, the time has come, and
that's a good show, guys. No.
The time has come, and it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian. Let's finally get into it.
Drum roll.
First off, a tremendous episode, also directed by the one and only Carl Weathers. So bravo to him for getting about 99% of this episode spot on. We all know what the 1% I'm talking about is.
Yeah.
But let's jump into it. Let's start with the beginning. We see Mando on his ship, still just, limping along.
Mira, we got it to fly, didn't we, Holmes? I mean, the Southsiders put it together.
It's flying, but it's like one of those cars that go to the south side. They go to the tire shop, and the tires are wobbling like that. Yeah. You're driving.
Yeah. Windows cracked, doors broken.
Yeah. I mean, it'll pass inspection, Holmes, but so.
Duct tape on the back.
I love this initial moment. We have the child, or else JC blows a gasket.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Working on the interior of the ship, and I'm immediately seeing Rocket and Baby Groot back in Guardians 2 Don't push the red button.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Not that
Yeah.
one.
So I love it. And you guys just loving the humor right off the bat here?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man, it was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, yeah, it was actually kind of funny too, because I think that's like the most mature interaction he's had with him, other than just taking care of him. You know, he's literally trying to get him to plug the wires, and he's telling them colors, and he seems to kind of know what's going on, but not really. So it was interesting. It was kind of funny, but also like, huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, poor
You're
little
always
bugger.
trying to figure out exactly how much cognizance and understanding that Baby Yoda has. I mean, you really trust what we consider an infant or a toddler to work on the inner workings of your ship. And then I'm also of the mindset of, wait, don't put them together. Like, he can electrocute and kill himself. Like, this show's going to be over pretty soon. What are you doing right now? There
Why
has
is
to
there
be
no
a better
chapter
way.
13?
How it should have ended. Yeah, you know. So
Yeah, so we find out Mando's on his way to go see Grief Karga and Cara Dune. He needs to see his friends again. And the last time we left this place, it was in shambles from the last incident between Moff Gideon, the stormtroopers, as well as the Mandalorians. But it's in a much better state right now. Seems to be flourishing. The old cantina is now a school. We have a statue of IG-11 in the town square. The hero, what I consider our Terminator 2 Judgment Day hero, if you will.
Yep.
So it's really exciting to see all this happening. The teacher is also a protocol droid, so we get our little our big Easter egg. The fact that we have a C-3PO lookalike leading the classroom. And I don't know about you guys, but as soon as Mando says, no, I go everywhere with him. As soon as he says that and he still leaves him in the classroom, I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. Are you guys pretty worried about all that?
I wasn't worried about it. I just thought it was okay. I think he's starting to come to terms that he can't take that little dude everywhere with him, because he saw that the last time he almost got him killed when he got swallowed by that sea monster. So you can take him almost everywhere, but for his own safety, there are times that you're going to have faith in other people to kind of help you out. I think he's kind of more receptive to that. But one of the main things that I want to talk about from that whole scene when he left him at the school with the kids is that we did see the child use the Force to get the cookies, because Baby Yoda didn't want one. Baby Yoda takes the whole damn sleeve.
That's
What's
right.
the damn macaroons, man?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, oh, you didn't give me one. I'm taking the whole sleeve.
My daughter busted out laughing at that. By the way, she loved the fact that people the macaroons. So
Ted, this may be like a whole episode we need to do one time. Is the baby good? He's doing a lot of things this season that are a little questionable.
Very questionable.
Just throwing that out there.
I mean, it's like a typical infant. They'll eat just about anything.
You're not wrong, but
I'm just,
he's just
70 some odd years, whatever. He's just being a kid. He doesn't know fully any better. He's like, hey, I see eggs, I'm hungry. I see cookies, I'm hungry.
But last season he was force choking Cara Dune.
It's true.
Little bugger
instinctively protecting
to save his friend.
Mando. Yeah, he thought.
Yeah,
he was,
but he had that mean little face, and he was like going with his hand. He's like, I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah,
but we've only seen force choke done by Sith, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So he has a little evil in him.
JC, do you remember our first discussion about Baby Yoda, like a year ago?
God, it seems like so long ago, considering this year, right? Probably not. So you have to remind me.
I'll just say this, and if the fans, you listeners, you viewers don't remember this, be sure to check out our original discussion on the Mandalorian. My initial theory when we saw Baby Yoda was he was born the same year as Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Anakin was quote unquote born of the Force. I still think he's a child of Palpatine or Darth Sidious, but they'll never confirm that
until they make the Palpatine movie. We'll never know.
It was in a comic book. It was in a comic book where it was confirmed that Palpatine manipulated the midichlorians to get Shmi pregnant.
But is that still canon though?
And I'm all with you, but yeah, Disney said nothing's canon, but now we're starting to find out that little things are canon.
You mean the M count?
They can pick and choose the M count, which was great.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So my whole thing back then was like, if Anakin was born, let's just go by of the Force. the Force we know has two sides, the dark and the light. Anakin was born to be probably, let's call it light, I guess, because he does sort of save the rebels in the end and defeats the Empire. Well, at least we thought. And then Baby Yoda would be the yang, or the flip side of that coin, and he is possibly born of the dark. Or we could just switch those probably two characters back and forth. They're born the same year. That has to have some significance to me. And now we're finding out in
Guys,
this
I'll be
episode.
right back. Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
In this episode, chapter 12, that Baby Yoda is one of the most powerful, if let's just say top 5, top 10 most powerful Force users probably in the galaxy, especially by this point, for sure. Definitely by this point. Top 5, top 10 Force users for sure. And we all find this out because Dr. Pershing in a hologram video says they've been using his blood, transfusing it into what we assume are clones. And he mentions M count. I love that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are trying to fix everything in Star Wars in one season. Do it. I know you can, Dave. And Dave, we trust. He's saving all of us right now.
Did you see those clones, though? They were very reminiscent of Snoke.
You beat me to it.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
Snoke.
say
Yeah.
the middle container does in fact remind me of Snoke.
Especially
he
the
has
skull.
the split in the skull. He has those beautiful cheekbones on one side, but I think these were the failed experiments. Is what they were saying.
It's
and
the failed
so,
snow clones,
Failed
basically.
clones, yeah.
there
so.
you go. So
Maybe that's why clone looked that's why Snoke looked the way he did, because he was a failed clone. They were just able to kind of get him good enough, so the Emperor could kind of transfer his essence and manipulate him,
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like he never was fully functional as far as the way he was supposed to look, and maybe that was indicative of the clone failure,
Indicative of the clone, but also who is the original prime person that they're using to clone?
They said they had people who volunteered. They had volunteers.
That's what I'm saying. Who is the individual that they actually did mention that they're using? And then Snoke is a clone of Palpatine, but they all look the same, disfigured, broken skull. Like, the reasons for all that are really unknown. Maybe they'll answer some of those questions.
It's the M count.
He's a Horcrux for Palpatine. There's your Harry Potter reference, Mike. I appreciate that.
Mike, I know you love this kind of stuff, Mike. So get into your theories, your lore about Star Wars. What are the revelations that you're finding out here?
I just thought it was kind of interesting because I know, I know we've even talked about on the show, the reception for The Rise of Skywalker, obviously very controversial in the Star Wars fandom. But I thought it was interesting the way they were trying to connect this stuff to this, this most recent trilogy. And I know y'all are talking about, and I just came back, the clones that they were using and how we think they're probably the early versions of Snoke. But I do think it's interesting because the Mandalorian has, seemed to breathe life back into this franchise a bit that, a lot of people are not too happy with parts of this last movie, but I do think it's interesting the way they're trying to connect some of this stuff seemingly from the cartoons or from the other stories, and then in their timeline into the future of what becomes the new trilogy. And again, there's that whole thing in the background because we know this is in essence a prequel. Where's the child during this latest trilogy of movies? Where was obviously that's going to be answered at some point. We don't know how many seasons the Mandalorian's going to be, but it'd be interesting to see where they take that and what effect that might have had on the eventual the newer trilogy.
Yeah, you're getting in my head, Mike, because I'm on the same sort of thought process. Here's what we do know. They've already used some of Baby Yoda's blood and tried it on these clones, and it failed.
Mhm.
So they need more of his blood, or just someone's blood with a high M count. Someone who is a Force wielder. Doesn't need to necessarily be a Jedi. They could very well use a Sith or someone on the dark side of the Force and use their blood as well to accomplish their goal. So, what we do know at this point in time in the Star Wars universe, there's like a handful of people that kind of fit and match that criteria. And we also know that eventually they do succeed. We get Snoke later on in the sequel trilogy. We also get Palpatine. So they do succeed. We just don't know how long it's going to take before they do succeed. But it can probably count on less than two hands on who's left and remaining who kind of fits this criteria. Baby Yoda's around. They've used his blood once. They're going to try again. I hope they don't, because that's going to make this series very sad and depressing if they eventually succeed. So I don't want that. We do know Luke Skywalker is alive and well, who is probably the most powerful Force user in the galaxy by this point. I'm not saying they're going to use Luke's blood. I'm just saying he's alive, he's around, he fits all the criteria. He checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Leia's also there. She checks all the boxes. Ahsoka Tano has already been mentioned in the series, and we know from other series that she's also alive and well. And Dave Filoni also announced it on Twitter. Ahsoka's alive and well. We can kind of hint that Darth Maul is potentially alive and around somewhere. We saw him in the Han Solo series, and he's also been in the animated series. That's 5 people already who kind of fit the criteria.
Real quick on that last one.
Yeah.
Because in the cartoons, there's like a final meeting between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, right? After
Clone Wars.
I haven't got there yet.
Okay, so I've heard. Okay, so I was trying to figure out.
Right.
Well, I was trying to figure out the timeline. I've heard. I haven't seen it, so that's all I was trying to. Okay,
I'd like to introduce a theory that everybody hasn't even thought about yet, and I've been kind of following this, especially since season 1. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
I had one more, and I mentioned it last time. I mentioned it 2 times ago on our show with Jeff Garcia. Yeah. Shout out to Jeff. We had a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned to Jeff that also Samuel L. Jackson has told people on social media that Jedi have been known to fall from great heights and still survive. So that, to me, leaves everything wide open. Mace Windu could still be alive and well. Alive and somewhat well, somewhere in the galaxy.
Yes, they deserve to die.
He would be probably a potential 6th candidate as a Force wielder in this universe. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, my theory was, I'm looking to see what they're up to. Yeah, we know eventually they succeed in making a clone of Palpatine. And of course they have a clone. They have multiple clones of Snoke just waiting in stock in case one of them bites the dust. They can just bring another one out. Just like, was it that series Dinosaurs? We need another Timmy, because Timmy was always blowing up with experiments. So anyway, my thing is, what Moff Gideon was doing and these experiments, what it leads me to believe, really at the end of the day is, and you saw that last scene in this episode where he just had all these suits, that were not inhabited, which leads me to one thing. Were they trying to weaponize the midichlorians by making clones of Force wielders for the Empire, a new type of stormtrooper to go out there for the First Order, to really take control of the galaxy, and make it their own. Make them. I mean, if you can clone an army, of Force wielders, I mean, game over.
Nothing to stop you.
Yeah, because it's like zombies. They kill you with quantity, not quality. And while you might have some Jedi out there that might try to help the Resistance or what have you to beat this army of clones that are Force wielders, that would be a tall order if you had that many out there. So to me, it just kind of sounded like, why are you trying to do all these things? Were you trying to clone, force wielders and use that as a weapon. So it's just something I kind of found interesting.
JC, what are your thoughts on all these revelations?
I mean, I don't think it looks good for the child, to be honest with you. We don't see him in the sequel, like you said. I theorized when we first started talking about this season that Boba Fett's going to successfully capture the child, and that's where they're going to leave us going into the next season. But with no appearance by the child, unless they explain that he's been exiled somewhere, that you're not going to see him at all, like Dagobah or something. Who knows? So it's not looking good, and it's like you said, with Snoke being resurrected and eventually Palpatine being resurrected, there's a very good chance that this child's blood is a big part of that. And there might be a merchandising nightmare, but we'll see how they plan this out. That this is one of those that can go either way. So yeah.
All right, so this is our weekly
Whoa!
Hey, Liana.
Hey!
break.
Hi.
Our weekly invasion of the toddler. Hey, say hi. We're talking Star Wars.
What do you think about Baby Yoda?
She loves Baby Yoda.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
So
He's
she's
already
looking at your
looking at
wallpaper.
She's
Yeah.
looking at it. She's like, yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Look, who's that?
That's my friend.
Yeah, it's your buddy.
Does she like blue Oreos too?
She can't have those exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of on a very strict diet. I'm one of those dads, I guess. So,
Not wrong
yeah.
with that.
You gonna go to bed?
No,
Thanks for stopping by.
No. Goodbye.
she's crashing
Goodbye.
the show.
Say bye.
Bye.
Say bye to everybody.
We get the best cameos on this show.
All right.
She should have her own segment, Ted.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. It'll be awesome.
It would.
Oh man. All right. Sorry, JC. I got distracted.
No,
there.
that was like right at the end of my thought anyway. So yeah. So
There you go.
Mhm.
Plenty of kind of new things to discuss and talk about. I do think these, I'm going to call it dark troopers, because there have been some, I don't know if they're like audio captions or something, or if they're like the ADA captions that called them dark troopers, like literally in the captions. So I think they're dark troopers. I don't know if these are clones. I do think that they are sort of just all cybernetic, but they are devastating. I think that's for sure. But I do also think that the ultimate goal is to revive either Palpatine for sure, but also find a candidate that will successfully revive Snoke. You don't get Palpatine unless you revive Snoke. Snoke is a test. Once they have a successful test of Snoke, then you could probably go ahead and revive Palpatine, or at least that's what the rebellion or whatever we call them in the sequel trilogy like just threw out in a bunch of like nonchalant and just throwaway lines like cloning, dark magic. What? Come on. Anyways.
Well, wasn't he around the whole time? Isn't he already just hiding out on that planet with all the lightning and the big ships? Isn't that what the last movie told us?
I don't think so. I think that there have been some novels, again, that may or may not be canon at this point. But, you're right, because he does say that he creates Snoke. I think Palpatine says he created Snoke. But you don't know if, like, it's just his consciousness.
Right. That I don't think was ever
this.
really explained.
And it never
maybe they left it that way on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Was he in another body? Was he just kind of like throwing another Harry Potter reference? Voldemort for a while, just a spirit wandering around.
There you go.
Yeah. So they never really did explain that I remember. So
yeah.
Maybe if they had him transfer his essence into a clone, maybe they had him in stasis. Until they could actually find a viable candidate to really put him into a more stable clone than what he's in now.
Right.
Yeah, because the body that Palpatine was in was like barely functioning.
Didn't even have any
He's on
fingers,
this huge crane.
And it was I was
it
gonna say he
was-
was moved by the crane.
Yeah.
So even so, their trials weren't 100% successful. So it'll be again, this is the most interesting Star Wars has been in a very long time. So I never thought they would take this show here. I always thought you could get away from Star Wars, get away from the lore, get away from the mythos, and just tell great stories, and the fans are going to love it. Now, the challenge that they are accepting is to not only give something we'll be entertained by, but also dig deeper into the Star Wars mythos and the mythology than ever before. And so I'm all for it. They're tying in everything from episode 1, Midichlorians, all the way to episode 9, presumably, with the cloning process and the trials of bringing Snoke to life and Palpatine. So this show, which we didn't put a lot of thought into originally, is now trying to tie the entire Star Wars saga together. And I'm excited. I didn't think they'd be going this route. It's really interesting. Can we just mention also that stormtroopers are by far the worst shots in the galaxy? There's at least 50 of them in this hangar, this laboratory, and none of them hit a damn thing. And they just drop like flies. Also, these scout troopers on bikes, horrible. 2 of them killed each other
just going
on the way down the rock face.
You think they just breezed through the course and didn't take it seriously or something like that?
And the TIE fighter pilots couldn't hit nothing either, dude.
Hey, shout out also to Jeff Garcia, who 2 episodes ago he said, "I want to see a dogfight." He was begging for some of these things to come to fruition. And now we see the Razor Crest in a dogfight against a couple of TIE fighters. So he got exactly what he wished for.
I got a new one from Jeff. Jeff wants to see the Razor Crest blown up is what he's wanting next.
Yeah.
We'll
Jeff's
see.
the Russian judge, bro. You can never satisfy him, man.
Another quick side question. At the end of the movie 9, the last movie, when all the ships show up, did someone say they saw the Razor's Crest in there? Was that one of the ones that they like?
I can go back and look, but
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
think it was
think.
the.
I remember. I don't know all the, especially the ones from like the cartoons and the Clone Wars, but I remember people just hearing a bunch of things online about, oh, if you look real close, there's a ship that looks like this in the background. There's a ship that looks like this, because there was thousands,
It
of
was
them.
one of the ones from not Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels.
Right, stuff like that. So I wonder if that one was. I'm sure that they put it somewhere, just to have fun with it.
Just have fun, yeah.
Just to sneak it in, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Firefly ship.
Yeah.
All right. And gentlemen, it only gets better from here. Chapter 13 reportedly is titled The Jedi and is being directed and was also written by Dave Filoni. So this is the one to place all your bets on. I think it's going to be a good one.
We need to call our old friend Veronique so we can bet $1. I had plans for my $1. I was going to go flip
that was my lottery ticket, man.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
And by the way, should we mention if it's who we assume it is, that's Rosario Dawson. So I'm in on that.
Yeah, supposedly.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see what's going to happen. Like I said, man, if it's entitled The Jedi, the next episode, I don't know. I just think they're going to tease. Like I was telling Veronique in that last Countdown City Geekcast we recorded, you're probably going to see her at the very end, and then you're going to have to come back again to see more of her. To me, that's how they would do it. It'll be a lead up. The whole episode, you're going to be searching for her and talking with different characters or what have you to find out where she's at, because you know what planet she's on, but you don't know where in the world in this big old planet, where is she at? You're probably going to have to go on some type of journey or an adventure to finally locate her, and then you're going to see they show a glimpse of her at the end of the episode, and then you're like, damn it, that's it.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Yeah, and we're at the halfway point of this season too. It's crazy, It's short 8 episodes.
It's gone by too quick, man.
Yeah. So,
but it's good. It's real good.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm probably going to stay up for this next episode. I don't want to wait, man.
It does premiere at 2:02 a.m. our time.
2 a.m. our time.
That, man. I'm out.
This will be the only one I stay up for probably for the rest of the season. Maybe the finale.
Yeah,
Too
I
much
would stay
TV.
up for
I'll
the
probably
finale.
stay for this one.
Too much
Oh,
turkey
yeah.
that day, man. No. So
If you're up for the finale, we need to have some type of watch party because I do that on Twitch with some of my friends that are in the media. We kind of have Twitch watch parties in the middle of the damn day where we watch, Star Wars Rogue One or something, and we just have our own private little watch parties and we talk when we chat with each other. So it's a lot of fun. We could do something like that depending on who's awake, you know?
Yeah, we'll do that Twitch party at 3 a.m. Come on, Joe, let's do this, man.
Let's do it. It's not hard, dude. I do it all the time, so it's fun.
Hey, this is what's gonna happen. JC, you're gonna eat all that turkey. You're gonna pass out like at 7 o'clock at night, and then you're gonna wake up just in time for
He can't
chapter
move. He still has
13
that
of the
turkey in him,
Mandalorian.
man.
I'll wake up just in time to use the bathroom and then go back to bed because this is what happens.
Well, while you're up, just
Yeah.
on the toilet, just boot it up on the phone.
You can
No,
see it on your
I
phone.
think my wife and kids would get mad at me if I watched it before then because it's like a Friday night thing.
Yeah.
Watch it all together.
Family time.
Yeah, which
Gotcha.
it's kind of nice to have that a Star Wars thing in for my family, this generation of kids, So
Yeah, my
Never
family
really got
time
that.
was with my kids was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, where I would record it on the DVR, and they would wait for me to get home, and when I would get home, then we would watch it all together. Yeah,
it's the Mandalorian and it's Animaniacs. My kids love it. It's showing them Home Alone and Home Alone 2. They love it. So yeah,
Nice.
It's that time of the year.
Starting to
There
show
you
them the
go.
classics.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
and got to show them Elf, dude. Elf has to be in there somewhere.
Yes.
I think they might have seen it already, but yeah.
Top 3.
so-
Yeah,
Top 3 Christmas
That's
movies.
yeah. Next time we got to revisit that at some juncture. The best Christmas stories. What's in your list?
Oh God.
You're
The
getting
Christmas
ahead of me.
Story.
Die Hard. No, I don't know.
Bad Santa.
You're getting ahead of me, Joe. I might have something in store for all of the geeks out there.
You
Yeah,
gonna dress as
don't-
Santa, Ted?
Don't ruin Steady's surprises, man. Yeah. So
Well,
he's always got fun shit.
We'll find out next week.
There you
Didn't
go.
even talk about our favorite Thanksgiving movies. God,
I know.
always skipping to Christmas.
I thought everybody
Thanksgiving.
was Thanksgiving. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Gobble, gobble,
Thanksgiving.
mother. Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
All right.
that's awesome.
That'll do it, gentlemen, for this episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. We also want to hear from you, viewers out there. What did you think about Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian? Actually, before I forget, we had some comments.
Were they kind?
And, oh, of course, they always are. Vincent McLean, top fan Vincent said, awesome episode, but after dropping Ahsoka Tano's name in episode 3, this kind of felt like a Last Jedi moment where Disney is all like, fuck you fans, you ain't getting what you want.
Exactly.
That being said,
Patient.
No, I
Patience.
think we mentioned it earlier. It's 8 episodes. We're leading up to that,
Yeah.
but that's funny.
here he goes. And he finishes off with that being said, I really wanted more Grief and Kara this season. I was kind of disappointed they aren't just his usual travel companions. Completely agree, Vince. Awesome, man.
they have
and,
this great chemistry together. I would like to see them
Yeah.
together more often. Yeah.
They really do. And Kara was dropping some MMA moves in that
Yeah.
earlier scene this
Hey,
episode.
maybe we'll have a spinoff with Grief and Kara.
That'd be kind of cool.
Hey.
Maybe they'll cast Ronda Rousey. We'll finally get Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. We've always wanted to see.
Hopefully, she gets eaten by a sarlacc in the first episode.
Oh my God.
Now that I'm thinking about it, if Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau especially, if they're trying to come out with a satisfactory arc for Cara Dune, it's more than likely going to be her joining back with the Rebels, the New Republic, I suppose. Maybe by the
Yeah.
end of this season or sometime in next future seasons,
I
we'll
like
see
her being
her
the Marshal. That's how they
join the
refer to
military
her.
again.
The Marshal. They refer to her as the Marshal.
They
They-
do, but this enemy is growing, and it's
Yeah.
growing a lot. And she has firsthand knowledge about how dangerous
How
Moff Gideon is and these forces.
how about that revelation that her home planet was Alderaan? That was
Yeah.
just like, wow. It explains a whole lot of why she hates the Empire, want to fight against the Empire, and pretty much eventually you'll think she'll fight against the First Order too. So
Yeah.
She was
There you
probably
go.
looking for love in Alderaan places.
Oh damn! All right,
Wow.
Scott.
That's my favorite joke. I gotta
Wow.
throw it in there.
yeah,
He'll be
top
here all
fan,
week, fans. He'll be here
There
all
you
week.
go.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm off. So
Top fan Scott Ferris said it was all right, kind of a filler episode. Any plot exposition made could have been a phone call or email. Nothing needed to take a whole season to learn. Oof,
Huh.
ouch.
wow.
Justin stated, I liked it, but it was my least favorite episode of the season 2 so far. He still liked it, though. Brett McLaughlin, friend of mine, Brett, said, enjoyed it greatly. I kind of figured that Ahsoka wouldn't be in this episode, so I wasn't disappointed with that. Hopefully, Grief and Kara will be in more episodes this season. Everybody loves Grief and Kara. That's awesome.
They're
Yeah.
funny, man. I'm telling you. It's
They're-
good
yeah.
chemistry. Yeah.
And lastly, John Wicker stated, better than Chapter 11. Keep sending us those comments. Keep sending us those messages. You can message us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, also on Instagram. And you can also email us on the contact page of our website at www.countdowncitygeekcast.com. For the Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me on this episode is the man, the myth, the legend, known as JC.
Thanks for watching this, for listening, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay safe out there. And if you're not aware, Zoom is lifting their 40-minute time limit. So if you can't get together with your family, set up a Zoom meeting, have lunch with them, take your turkey nap, and then stay up late and watch The Mandalorian as we discussed. So yeah, take it full advantage of it and spend time with your family through a virtual call if need be. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
There you go. We also got the man behind the magic, the one and only Joe Garcia.
Yeah. So hope everybody enjoys their Thanksgiving with their family and gets to spend some quality time. And I'm also going to be watching the Cowboys go against the Washington football team on Turkey Day. Can you imagine, JC, if they win, they still got a chance. They got a chance.
You know, we'll talk
they're
about
second
this.
in the division.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We'll talk about this on the Sports Minorities. The fact that Thanksgiving is basically Houston at Detroit.
No,
That's
God.
the undercard. Washington at Dallas. That's another undercard. The main event is Baltimore and Pittsburgh. We don't even know if that's going to happen because Baltimore has 2 players that tested positive for COVID. So yeah, that'll be fun. We'll be
you
talking
go.
about that on Wednesday on the
We
Sports
have
Minority.
that, and we
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah. So,
And last but definitely not least, on loan from the Countdown City WrestleCast, we got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving, and remember, be good to each other.
pro wrestling is real, people.
People are.
Oh, that's the other shit. People are fake. That's the other show. My bad.
And thank you, Undertaker, for 30 magical years.
Yes.
Is he going to retire this time? Is it for real?
It's done. It's
Until
done.
Saudi Arabia comes calling. Basically, that's what it is.
It's done.
Look,
Maybe.
I've saw Ric Flair have a retirement ceremony. I've seen Terry Funk have about 24 of them. I'm just saying, there's always a chance. It's wrestling. You never say never.
Yeah, you never say never, and it's one of those retirement ceremonies you should have had a live audience for. It's
Yeah.
just, and that's something I thought they should have waited for, but
It is what it is. It's
is what it
30
is. It's
years.
his
They wanted
time,
to
but-
capitalize on
Plus-
the 30-year
yeah,
anniversary.
I know.
He could pull a Mick Foley and be like, well, the Undertaker's retired, but Mark Calloway's come to fight.
Have a good night, folks. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Later. Peace.
Hey guys, AJ and Ivan here. For more Geekcast episodes, subscribe to us on your podcast app and please write us a review. Be sure to like us at Facebook at facebook.com/CountdownCityGeekcast. Follow us on Twitter at ccg_podcast or visit our website at www.countdowncitygeekcast.com. See you later, guys.